Hello chess lovers, Suren here, and in this video I want to share with you a game which is going to end up with a very beautiful combination. On the white side is Cuban chess legend Jose Raul Capablanca, and his opponent is American chess player William Morris. This game was played at 1911 New York Masters. Capablanca opened up with e4, to which Morris answered with Sicilian defense. Knight f3, e6, knight c3. Still, white is not revealing his intentions. If needed, he can both go for the closed Sicilian, or with his next move can go for d4 as well, but by using this small chance, black himself struck in the center and played d5. But in this case, of course, black has to be ready to play with an isolated pawn. After d4, once an exchange of pawns happens, black will get an isolated pawn on d5. Knight f6, bishop g5, white is pinning the key defender, bishop e6, bishop takes f6, g takes f6. This is already a very strange move. It's not quite clear why not queen takes f6. If d takes c5, then bishop takes c5, and the thing is that if you win this central pawn, then in the end of the day black has this queen takes b2 move. In the game we see g takes f6, after which black is getting a shattered kingside pawn structure on which white will later rely. Bishop b5 check knight c6, after which both players castled kingside. From black's side this looks a somewhat bold decision, but still it's not like that white can easily exploit the kingside weaknesses. If needed, black can even put his king on h8, the rook on g8, and put pressure down the g file. Here we see queen d3, queen d6, bishop takes c6, b takes c6, and then comes knight a4. White wants to get rid of black's bishop pairs. Rook fe1, c5, rook e3. From the third rank, white wants to switch his rook into the attack, and queen f4. Playing d4 is also playable, forcing white to move back his rook. Although at this point white can play c3, but even in this case black is just doing great. If c takes d4, then c takes d4, if rook b3, then bishop g6. This seems to be a stronger continuation for black than the one which we see in our game. In our game we see queen f4, and it's not quite clear what is this queen going to do. c3, rook f d8, a3, bishop f5, queen b5. White is looking for weaknesses in black's camp, and black queen retreated back on d6 in order to protect this pawn. Rook d1, rook a c8, queen a4. The queen on b5 was somewhat awkwardly placed. White wants to transfer his queen on the king's side. c4. Looks like that with this move black is acting against white's intentions, but this is a serious mistake because with this move black is surrendering a key d4 square. At this point playing bishop g6 is better, or you can even play rook a8 for example. If queen h8, then king g7, and then you can always strengthen your king side with bishop g6. Instead we see c4, and once a hole appeared on d4, white rook occupied it. b5, queen goes back on d1. Well, if queen takes b5, then rook b8, rook b2 can follow. That's why we see queen d1 and king h8. Seems like that already black is worrying about the safety of his king, and meanwhile white is intensifying the pressure. Rook g8, and this time white knight occupied this hole. Knight d4, attacking black's light squared bishop. Black protected it with queen d7, but this is a serious mistake and is losing. Moving back the bishop on g6 is better, but in the game we see queen d7, and as we have reached the critical position, please pause the video and try to find white's next moves. Ready? In order to lure away the defender, in here Capablanca played rook e7. He's going for an exchange sacrifice in order to put his knight on this nice attacking square. Queen takes e7, and after knight takes f5, William Morris capitulated. But now you may ask, what's the problem with black's position? Here it is. We have a very unique fork. White knight attacks two important squares simultaneously. Both this queen on e7 And also, white knight is taking under control the g7 square. Now if you move away your queen, then this time white can go for a rook sacrifice. The second rook sacrifice can appear on the board, after which white can announce a checkmate. And so that was the reason that after knight takes f5, Morris resigned. A very nice combination and a unique fork, which I hope that you enjoyed greatly. In the end, a chess puzzle for you where the task is to find the mating line for white. There is a mate in 4, and as usual, we'll wait for your answer in the comment section. Feel free to check out my early uploads as well. We'll see you in my next video. Take care.